How your career as a bagpipe player started, because it's a nice story.
Yeah, it first started when I decided that our group that we work with, the charity, that we had all the social side and the warrior side and the educational team going into classrooms, and we realised that we didn't have any music or dancers, so we thought, I made a point trying to organise the music side of it, and I thought the only way I'm going to do this is if I do it myself rather than relying on a piper. That way there will always be a piper around, because people come and go. So I went and bought a set of bagpipes and took them with me down to the set of Gladiator when we were making a movie, because this is something else that the group does also, combat for film and television. And by the time I came back, I had a couple of tunes under my belt, and learned the scales, and that took me on a little bit. And then when I got back, I bought a set of old cardboard drums from a car boot sale. Cost us about £45, these little blue drums. And I went down to the shop where we were working from, our office, and I handed the drums out to some of the guys, and I says, you play the bass drum, you play the tenor, you play the snare, So off we went down to our local graveyard, which is kind of like next to our museum. We were standing playing the pipes and drums, just messing around trying to get some kind of music together, jamming really. And then we've looked up the hill and we could see the tourist buses going past, and people were, with super long lenses, were trying to take photographs. So we just thought nothing more of it, and we kept playing and we kept playing. And we must have been there for about 2 or 3 hours, and then near the end we've turned round and there's like lots of people standing watching us. And then they started throwing money into the lid for the drum. And we thought, wait a minute, they're throwing money at us, and it's Edinburgh Festival, so maybe we should really, go into the festival and do a bit of busking and try it out. And we did, and it was a huge success. And we ended up, we won the BBC award for Best Street Performers in the year 2000 at the Edinburgh Festival. We ended up on the radio and all kinds of stuff like that. So it was kind of like a real good buzz, for us. And that was basically the launch of the band, Shore Patrol.
So Shore Patrol was in fact born as a street music project?
Yeah. Not so much street music, it was born as a project in addition to our group's activities. Mm-hmm. Some people call us reenactors, but that's an easy way to explain it. Mm-hmm. Going to Living History festivals, much like this, but very, very historical, and we wanted to take music to that as well. But it kind of grew its own arms and legs and just kind of took off and became very, very wantable. People wanted us to play at weddings or corporate functions, and then we started getting invited to festivals. And obviously as the website grew, and you've got all your media, MySpace, Facebook, as these things developed, so did we, because our network grew and grew, and we've been as far as Taiwan. And we spent more time in the air flying than we did actually playing in Taiwan. So been as far as Taiwan, America. We're going back to America. We're going to Grandfather Mountain in July.
And before you decided to learn bagpipe for your combat group, did you have any relation to the instrument before? Did you have any contact to pipe and drums band? The classical ones?
Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. No experience. No nothing. I bought a set of bagpipes. I got someone to show me how to maintain them and how to play a key, play the scale, and that was it. The rest I taught myself. Okay. And it just keeps, new stuff keeps coming all the time. I'm thoroughly enjoying it,
And the music that you play now is mostly self-composed.
Yeah.
And how do these tunes are created? Is it group work, or is it you alone having some melodies and getting them into the group?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happens. I can end up, we could be somewhere, like we've got say Tomb Tabard, for instance. We called it Tomb Tabard. It means turncoat. And I was in Castle Campbell, and I was actually discovered I was standing above the Bottleneck jail a bottleneck prison where the prison's shaped like a bottle, and they throw you down in the dungeon, and usually you don't come out. And this tune just came to me, and we called it Tomb Tavern Turncoat, because that's where they put people. And you know, so I could be in a place somewhere, you know, it doesn't need to be somewhere special, just needs to, you know, it could be somewhere of beauty, you know, a beautiful landscape, it could be we're having a great time. Solvay, the song Solvay, that was written 2 days after my daughter was born, and that just came to me in the studio purely because I got these immense feelings about my daughter, you know, and I've got 5 children, and she was my first daughter. And the guys, they went outside for a smoke. We were actually in the studio recording the first album, SP, and it didn't go on that album because I wasn't happy with it. It wasn't quite finished yet. I keep developing my tunes as well, adding and expanding on them. But Solvay was very special to me, so I wanted it to be special when it went on the album, you know. So, and again, you know, that was down to emotion. That's where that came from, you know. So that's where a lot of my music comes from here. You know.
And in the meantime, you could say that playing with Shaw Petrol is your main profession?
It's not my main profession, it's one of my professions. I'm a chief executive of a charity that promotes Scottish culture and heritage. But I'm also a volunteer coordinator for the project Duncarron, taking people up to the project to get them to, you know, participate. People approach us, and then I've got the band, but I also run a combat team for film and television. So later on in the year, when the music and the festivals die off, fortunately this year, that's when the filming's going to begin. So I can take one hat off and put another hat on, you know. So I've got about 3 or 4 professions, but we juggle them all. We just seem to make it work. I don't know why.
Interesting life.
Yeah, people say, you know, how do you have time to do all this? And I'm going, I don't know. It just happens. We just do it. You know, we make the time, you know, and make it work. Yeah.
Recently, you changed, or you didn't change, but you choose to include the red pipe to your musical gear. And what are your first experiences and impressions? I know you hadn't had much time yet to experiment and do things with the instrument, but you used it during several gigs now. What is your main experience about the red pipe?
I find it exciting. I'm looking forward to, you know, I still feel I'm learning. I haven't, you know, investigated it fully, the red pipe, but it's been an interesting addition, both for, you know, health and durability and reliability, as well, as you saw an example of earlier on this afternoon when I completely lost my signal on the Highland pipe, and you know, to mic them up would have just been another delay. So to swap straight over onto the E-pipe and have no problems, no tuning up to worry about, everything's bang on, you know, and it's a great sound now. We've kind of fattened the sound up a little bit. My first experiences of it were I was a bit daunted, you know. I was a bit like, oh, this doesn't feel right, and I actually felt like I was cheating because I'm not blowing like, or people think that I'm blowing too hard, but when I'm playing my Highland pipe, that's where my emotion comes from when I'm playing them, you know. So maybe I do overdo it a bit, you know. When I'm blowing, I blow too hard, you know. Sometimes my face goes red, but that's me putting my emotion into the pipe. So when I couldn't do that with the E-pipe, that's what felt really strange, you know. So it was like one extreme to the other, and it was like very, very weird to begin with. But it was fun also, you know. It's been fun, you know, and I think we're going to have an awful lot of fun, still to have with the red pipe.
As I saw you now mix the instruments, the acoustic pipe and the red pipe during the gig. Is that only to get some rest in between, or has it other reasons why you changed the instruments?
It's mainly to get rest just now because I've just recovered from a very bad chest infection, and I'm still recovering from that. But there are certain tunes that I play that they need the little blemishes that I put in myself. You know, bending notes and stuff like that, which I know the E-pipe will eventually have a development in there. The red pipe will eventually have that accessory added, which would be great. But right now I have to chop and change, because my Highland pipe, again, when it comes to emotion, it suits different tunes different ways, you know. Yeah.